Today, President Trump firing back at former President Jimmy Carter, who questioned Trump's legitimacy as president earlier this week. Now, it all started yesterday when Carter was speaking at an event in Leesburg, Virginia. The Georgia native was asked about Russia's interference in the 2016 elections, and this was his response.
And I think the interference, although not yet quantified, if fully investigated, would show that Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered on his behalf.
Now today, President Trump responded to former President Carter's comments during his closing press conference at the G20 summit in Osaka, Japan.
You know, a lot of Democrats like to make that statement. He's been trashed within his own party. He's been badly trashed. I felt badly for him because you look over the years, his party has virtually, he's like the forgotten president. And I understand why they say that. He was not a good president.